Hello, I'm Bill Farmer, 5th District Council member, welcoming you to another very special edition of Lexplore. You can hear my voice, but you can't see me because I'm inside a 5 million gallon tank that's never been filled before. This could be our most special edition. Please stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. We're inside the tank that is at Richmond Road, a new circle, and I've been joined by Kurt Zender. Kurt,
thank you, Bill.
Tell us your project, your title, I guess.
Okay, so I'm with Hazen and Sawyer. Our project title is the program manager, working with Bob Peterson and Charlie on the RMP, the Remedial Measures Plan.
Right.
Helping them manage this massive project.
Execute it.
Excellent, absolutely.
And you did some of the design work on the town branch tank, which is our biggest one, as you said, at over 20 million?
22 million.
22 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big structure.
It's large. It's the largest that Crom, who the subcontractor is, the largest freestanding that they make.
In a quote-unquote standard size, I guess.
Yes.
Or a scalable size.
Yeah.
But then this tank is more unique because of its locale and really all of the engineering that's right behind us here.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a 5 million gallon tank.
So it's a quarter the size of that one.
Absolutely.
But people still don't notice it because it's countersunk as much as possible. And this was a wasted little corner of the intersection there that people didn't really look at. And so you've got it, you said 8 feet underground on this end, or maybe 12 feet on that end?
Yep. We sunk it as much as we could to lose that site. You really don't see it when you drive over New Circle.
It's wonderful for that. It's wonderful for that. And then you were saying, this one's not on pylons, it's on rock. So it's got a thinner base to it than the others.
Correct.
But then the walls are 6 inches thick. Is that it?
The ceiling.
The ceiling 6 inches.
In the middle, right above us.
Yeah, we'll not look up right now. But it has never really been used in its official capacity. You filled it once up to make sure it would work. Mm-hmm. But this tank, unlike any of the other tanks, it has all of this, I'll say engineering, but how would you describe what this is?
This is what's called a jet aeration mixing system.
All right.
So this tank, in the location in the city, it gets high flows. So when this tank gets used, it'll fill up quickly.
Okay.
But then because of the capacity of the sewers downstream, it'll take a long time for the system to go back to a normal level, and then we can bleed this back into the controlled rate. So with it being in here a long time, sewage tends to get stinky.
It's a little right.
So to keep it fresh, we can add air from these nozzles you see.
Okay.
Adding air keeps odors down.
Right.
We mix it, physically pumping and mix the sewage, as well as adding air.
Less on that, okay.
And then we can add chemicals.
That's it.
As a last backup, we can add. So it's a multi-step approach that we can help keep the odors down. Keep the neighborhoods not knowing what's here.
Well, we've already done a great job of visually hiding this. Mm-hmm. This is yet another thing, again, different than the other tanks where, your accessory building out there.
Yes.
And that's all just to run this system, isn't it?
Yes.
Which other tanks don't really, I guess they have some sort of apparatus next to them.
Very little, yeah. Just a return valve that holds the flow in the tank until it's ready to be received into the system. So
we're trying to fix a whole lot of sewer overflows based on the EPA consent decree, and building this operation is again different than anything else because we tunneled under New Circle Road because the actual pump station for here is actually over there by Panda Express.
Yep.
So we minimized our footprint kind of on that side of New Circle, maximized it here, but it used the elevation difference to pump the sewage in here, which is going to be a lot of rain runoff with some sewage in it.
Mm-hmm. Diluted wastewater.
And so the system just knows when to kick on. How will that work?
So on the other side, you mentioned at the Panda Express, the pump station side.
Yes, sir.
There is a weir. So there's a fixed weir. So when the flow is back up in the system, it will back up and flow into
just automatically by the height, or something.
Yeah, by the hydraulics of Lexington system in this area.
And then it begins to kick on pumps to do that?
It flows into the pump station. When it fills up, the pumps kick on and pump it over here.
Now, I don't know all the locations of all the overflows, but this has to be one of the sweetest spots to make one fix that gets a lot of things taken care of at one time.
Absolutely.
This takes care of Woodhill things. It takes care of things on Richmond Road in front of the old Lexington Mall.
Yep.
Which there was vicious overflows into the watershed or into the water there.
Yes, I forget the number. There's a number of overflows in this area that this one project
fills.
Yeah.
And so we're here, and it's middle into May. And you think this will be commissioned and be able to be used sometime into July, somewhere?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So then the biggest rain we have after July 4th, this might kick on.
Yes. Yeah, it could kick on for a smaller. I mean, potentially with the system.
Oh, based on how dynamic the rain is, if it's so hard.
If it's rained for multiple days beforehand, you could get small rain and everything's saturated.
Kick it on.
It could kick it on. It doesn't have to fill up. It could fill up to where we're standing. It could fill up to the roof.
And then there is a kind of a chimney on top, but that's to suck everything off.
If there's odors,
recycle that
through carbon, clean it, and again minimize odors.
So ideally, all the neighborhoods would know when it came on, would know if it was full, would know if it was running, and would know if it was empty.
That's the plan.
All right, I like it. I think it's great. We just got. I didn't want to be standing around out here with you on another occasion.
Yeah.
Unless it's a ribbon cutting. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break and come back and talk with Director Martin here in just a minute. Kurt, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.
Appreciate your expertise, your time.
No problem. Thank you.
We'll be right back. Hello. Welcome back. I've been joined by now Director Charles Martin.
See you. Thanks for coming.
We call you Charlie. Sometimes too casually. You've been director all the time, but you've served as commissioner 3 or 4 times, haven't you?
Yes, sir. I have 4 times.
We appreciate that service and the versatility of it, all while doing an EPA consent decree. Is there an award for that?
I don't think so, but you know, if you're looking for a challenge, I've got one.
But we now have a new, seemingly very nice commissioner that you're working with.
Very capable. I'm glad she's here. You know, I think she'll be a really good asset to the team.
And it puts you kind of back in your bailiwick, is what I would say. Not that you were doing bad to the other. This is kind of your area of expertise, interest, and passion, truly.
Yeah, I'm kind of a water guy at heart. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you started working with things like this to begin with, you said.
Yeah, I'm kind of the lone person left over from the start of the consent decree. And you know, what people forget is that this really started back in 2005 when EPA first contacted us. And so through the course of an overall evaluation and developing plans and all that and turning it into capital construction like behind us,
yes.
It's been a 14-year ordeal, and we still got a ways to go.
Yeah, but we're making big notch strides, and you have made that happen. This being one of them. All the tanks are big ones.
Yes. Oh, we've had a lot of success along the way. We've had more wins than we've had losses. You know, any of the setbacks that we've had, we've been able to overcome. It's been a big learning project. This is the biggest public works project in the city's history.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's something that people absolutely rely on every day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's so thoughtless until it's a problem. But I think that's what's so neat about the complication of this specific project, but how many solves it has in it in terms of the consent decree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, the manholes that always overflow along the guardrail there along Richmond Road, I mean, they are a long-standing historical thing. People have lived here for a long time.
Vicious overflows, not kind of a little overflow, but kind of gushing overflow.
When I came to work here in 2000, the former director, Jimmy Campbell, told me that was one of the first projects that he was assigned to in 1968. So here we are, 2019, and we're finally getting to the point of providing a reliable solution to that problem.
Well, I think there will be a time where we can be on Richmond Road and not have an overflow, and know it's because this is operating. And I think that's in the next few months, and that's really exciting in terms of the overall decree and its implementation.
That's really what it's all about, is to stop unpermitted discharges to the waters of the United States.
But you had to build a pump station on the other side of a highway and drill a tunnel under it to put a tank out here.
Yeah, we were trying to make good use of available property without taking really, really good property off the market.
Sure.
I mean, you remember that conversation, is that when the property came available where the old Perkins was at, it was right where those manholes overflow, so hydraulically it made sense for us. But the idea of putting all of that infrastructure right there on Richmond Road was not a good thing for a lot of people. So we found out a way to kind of skin the cat both ways by putting that pump station there in the corner where it's probably the least desirable part part of that parcel, and plus putting the architectural enhancements that we did to it
to make it look like more than something it is.
to look like it belongs.
Yes, it does. It has a relative feel.
Yes,
It's emerging every day. Yeah.
Right. And so, Mayor Gray and yourself and others, they had a lot of input to that to try to make sure that it complemented what was there, even though it was a kind of a necessary infrastructure that you wished was somewhere else.
But it's the brains for the operation.
It is. It's the critical, because otherwise that overflow that comes out over there would not get delivered to this site without this pump station.
And then the way it's aerated and not treated, but
it's kept
flowed
fresh.
in a capacity. Yes.
Yes. Everybody's familiar with the word septic. When something goes septic, it usually stinks. And the idea is to keep air in it and stuff like that. Oxygen is what prevents sewage from going septic. And so by introducing the oxygen in there and keeping it mixed and fresh, that will help mitigate any odors. The idea, obviously, is to not keep sewage in here any longer than what we have to.
Well, according to the need.
If we do, we got to back up. Belt and suspenders.
So he said the same thing. Great term. So, but there's a filter system at the pump site to keep heavy solids or things soluble or something.
It's amazing what people will flush down the toilet. There's some strangely objectionable things. My guys at the treatment plant oftentimes find money on the screens and stuff.
Really?
Yes.
I would never have thought that.
Yes. It's a fairly common occurrence. But anyway, those screens they
More
protect the
later.
pumps. Yeah, they protect the pumps, because if a big solid gets stuck inside that pump, the pump is capable of pumping like a 2-inch sphere.
Okay.
But anything bigger than that, if somebody sticks a board down in a manhole and just dumps it in there, like during construction sites, that happens a lot. We don't want to tear up the pump, because then we don't have anything. The screen protects the pump, and the pump it's like your brain. It's like wearing a helmet and on your head.
So how much material will you pull off there? We have no idea yet.
No, it's typically on those kind of facilities, the ones that are in service day in and day out, we service them about every other day, because they have a little bit of storage in them as well. They're all mechanized.
Right.
Because this pump station only operates when it rains, days like today, it'll be sitting there not doing anything. And so everything's just fine, and we'll come out and run it occasionally to make sure that it's capable of running when it needs to.
So when you take that out of the effluent and you've compacted it, do you then take it directly to the landfill?
Yeah, we bag it up and take it to the plant, and it goes with the rest of the solids that we dispose
That makes sense.
of. Yeah, we spend about $1 million a year disposing of sludge and other stuff that comes out of sewers.
Well, but it's the correct disposal.
Yes,
It's not just something we're off the books. I mean, it's something that's properly cared for.
Yes, it's probably cared for. It's part of the overall solid waste contract that we have, where they pick up refuse in front of your house.
Okay.
I mean, obviously,
really? Yeah.
Yes. The company that disposes of that and takes it to the landfill, they also take our sludge.
In a separate vein or separate truck?
Separate trucks and stuff like that, but it's all part of the contract. As far as the fact that they're hauling sludge from us helps get us a better price point on our residential trash.
Because that's rich stuff. What we're taking is rich stuff, strikes me.
Well, and it's volume for them.
Is it really?
Yes.
Sure. It's heavy volume too.
Well, yeah, a lot of. If we get 1% of the water out of that saves us nearly $70,000 a year in disposal costs.
I love it.
So we want to get water out of there as much as
talk
possible.
about the overall numbers for the tank. What we first thought it was going to be versus what you think it is now here at the end.
The original cost estimate for this all in was $19.1 million, inclusive value engineering and also being able to better utilize the sites here. We're right now at $14.4 million. And with the opportunity of being able to recover some money, because we think we have some excess property that others would be interested in. Still a lot of money, but to save nearly $5 million in the original cost, that's huge.
But you've been consistent in this part of the decree of saving us money. Now we're going into a different time with different constraints and different hardware in terms of pipelines that may not be as easy to get that economics out of, but that's why we're programming a sewer fee increase for the first time in several years this year.
Yeah.
To kind of keep us caught up, as it were.
Yeah. We're constantly mindful of trying to keep the lid on the costs of this project while we deliver what we committed to with EPA, because we're all going to pay for it, and I'm like everybody else. I live here. I don't want to pay for something that I don't need.
You've been very judicious about that and the money we've obtained to use. So I appreciate you left the last hatch open for us to get in there before they seal it up to put it in use.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Never had been in, never will be again, but it's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
We went up on top. Thank you for that too.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out to see us.
You're the best. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Bill Farmer for Lexplore. We always appreciate visiting with you. If you have a thought or a place you'd like for us to come to, please let us know. Thank you so much.